In today's workout video, I have a special guest appearance to help me provide a moderate intensity exercise routine that will help people manage many common health conditions. Hi everyone, and welcome to Exercise for Health. And my mum is starring in this video, helping me provide a workout that is suitable for all ages, abilities and fitness levels. To give you some background context as to how this concept came into fruition, my mum has been doing the same exercise routine with a group of her friends for more than 40 years, and many of them find some of the exercises difficult because they're either slightly outdated or the physical demands have become too high. So I said I would design a new program for them to follow each week when they get together. Now my mum is in her mid-70s, has no health conditions other than the usual aches and pains, and doesn't take any medications, so is very fit and active for her age. So I'm hoping that this will provide some inspiration for others that find it difficult to get started with exercise. To take part in this routine, you will need a space and a wall or solid item of furniture to hold. But if you have a step available to you and either a set of hand weights, which could even be a couple of bottles of water, then this will provide additional benefit to some of the exercises. All the exercises will be done standing, so no need to get on the floor for this one. And although the exercise program should be suitable for most, it may not be appropriate for all types of health conditions. So if you're unsure, check with your health professional first before joining in. We will start with a gentle warm-up before doing 2 circuits of 10 exercises that will be for 1 minute each, and then finishing with a low-level cool down and some stretches. So get your exercise shoes on and let's go. Right, YouTube, meet my mum. Mum, say hi to YouTube.
Hi.
Okay, everybody, let's start off with your warm-up. We're going to start with a walk on the spot. So as you do that, walk up nice and tall, so good posture. Just get the arms moving a little bit forwards and backwards. Nice, gentle pace. So we're going to spend about 6 minutes warming up before we go into the main part of the workout, which would be the 10 exercises to do the circuit. And we're going to end up going through that circuit twice. Right then, let's do some heel digs out to the front. So alternate left and right. Try and pull your toes right back towards you. So just digging the heel out in front of you. Again, just take it at your own pace. Nice and steady. Let's change that now to a toe tap to the front. So pointing the toes forwards, tapping the toes in front of you. Excellent. Next one, we're going to do toe tap, but this time out to the side. So again, alternate left and right, bringing the feet back together in the middle. Right so far? And then let's change that now to a toe tap to the back. So just tapping the toes behind and then bring the foot back to the front. Good. Okay, let's go back to walk again. So while you're walking, I want you to get the shoulders moving a bit. So we're going to do some shoulder shrugs. So if you lift both shoulders up towards your ears, squeeze the shoulder blades back and then let the shoulders drop back down. So get as much movement as you can on both sides. Good. And then if you've got the mobility, start to lift the elbows up and back just to get a little bit more movement into the shoulder joint. Brilliant. Okay, let's go back to the walk again. So you should be starting to feel the heart rate's increasing and your breathing rate should be up a little bit more now as we're warming up. So let's bring the feet down to a standstill. Take the feet out just a little bit wider. Place the hands on the side of the legs. We're going to do side bends from there. Just reaching down each side of your leg as you go from left to right. Good, and then come back up to the middle, bring the feet back in, and then back to a walk again. Okay, bring the hands out in front of you. We're going to do some knee raises, so just lift the knee up to tap the hand. So work with your mobility. If you need to, have the hands down a little bit lower. Or if your mobility is really good, obviously lift the hands up higher. Good, and then back to a walk again. Okay, let's bring the feet down to a standstill and take them out a little bit wider like we did before. But this time I want you to bring the hands in front of the chest and we're going to rotate your spine. So twist to turn the body to face one way, come back through the middle, and then twist to turn and face the other way. Back to the center again. So just in your own time, twisting left and right. Good, and then come back to face the front, bring the feet back in and back to the walk. So we're going to go back to doing the heel digs and the toe taps we did at the start, but we're going to incorporate the arms as well. So I want you to do a heel dig to the front and do a bicep curl action with the arms. So keep the elbows tucked in and bring the fists up to the shoulders. Good, now we're working arms and legs that should make it a little bit harder. And you'll get your heart rate up a little bit higher. Okay, next one we're going to do is we're going to do a toe tap out to the side and back to the middle. As we do that, I want you to do a front raise with your arms, or you can take your arms out to the side, whatever you prefer, either to the front or out to the side as you do the toe tap out to the side. Good. Should be starting to feel a little bit more breathless now because the intensity is up just that little bit higher. Okay, next one we're going to do is a toe tap to the back. As we do a toe tap to the back, we're going to do an arm extension to the back. So lift your elbows up high behind you and then straighten the arms back behind at the same time as you do the toe tap to the back. So you will have a slight lean forwards with the body, just to allow you to get a bit more of arm extension behind you. Good, okay, and then back to a walk again. Right, hopefully you should be feeling a little bit warmer. Feeling warmer, Mum?
Yes, definitely.
Great. So we're going to be starting the circuit in a bit. So the first exercise we're going to do is going to be the step ups. Now for this one, if you've got the step, you then use your step. It's going to be stepping up forwards and backwards. If you don't have a step, you're going to do a box step on the floor, which basically means you step forwards, forwards, back, back. So imagine a square on the floor and you just step into each corner of that square on the floor as you go forwards and back. If we're using the step, hopefully use the support if you need it, but we're going to be stepping up onto the step and then straight back off again. You choose which leg you lead with. Ready? Off you go. So either doing the box step on the floor or using your step if you've got one to step forwards and back. Now make sure every time you step up on the step, make sure you're up nice and tall at the top before you come back down. And obviously make sure your foot is clearing the step on the up and clearing the step on the way back down, so you don't end up clipping it. Now we're going to get to halfway through this one in a second, at which point if you want to lead with the opposite leg you can. So I'm going to switch legs now, we're halfway. Bit of coordination. Good, so make sure you're taking this at a pace that you're comfortable with, because you do need to be able to manage it for a whole minute. After this, we're going to get 30 seconds rest, and in that rest period, I'll be explaining the next exercise. Okay, well done. Right, 30 seconds rest. Let me talk you through the next one. So the next one, this is where you can use your weights if you want to, but you don't need them if you don't want them. So essentially what we're going to do from there is I'm going to start my feet together. I've got the weight just down in front of me, keeping the shoulder blades down and back. I'm going to do a front raise up to shoulder height. As I do that, I'm going to do a toe tap out to one side, bring the foot back in, and then the opposite side. So each time you do a front raise, you can alternate legs. Ready? Off we go. So 1 minute. So because this is more of a strength and conditioning exercise, you can afford to slow the tempo down a little bit compared to what we did with the first one.
When we did the step ups, that was a bit more cardio based. So nice and steady. Obviously with this exercise, you can use 2 weights if you want to. So if you've got a set of dumbbells, you can do it this way and have a dumbbell in each hand. But because I'm holding a heavy weight, that's quite hard. So I'm just gonna stick to 1 dumbbell. That's halfway through. So nice, steady, control the weight. Don't let the weight control you. So we don't want to use momentum when we're using the weights. You should feel the shoulders working all the time through every repetition. Good. Last 10 seconds on this one. Keep it going if you can. If at any point you need to stop and have a rest, that's absolutely fine. Good. Okay. Right. If you've got the weight, just pop that down to one side. I'll explain the next one. So we're going to do side step and squats. So we start with the feet together, and what we do is we take a step out to one side, squat down, make sure you're pushing your bum backwards, stand back up, bring the foot back in, and then we step the opposite way, squat down, making sure you're pushing your bum backwards. So I'd say make sure you push your bottom backwards, just take a bit of pressure off the knees, but you go as low as you want. If you want to go a lot deeper in your squat, that's absolutely fine. Get yourself ready, and off we go. So side step, squat, bring back in, opposite way, squat. Now you can choose, because this is more of a cardio one, because we're working the legs a lot more. If you can up the tempo a little bit and do it quicker, fantastic. But at the same time, you can choose how low you go with your squat, because that'll make it harder. So if you squat down lower, that will make the exercise more intensive. Good. How you feeling, Mum? Okay, I think Mum's working hard. Just keep it going if you can. Again, remember, if you need to take a rest, that's absolutely fine. Don't feel you've got to complete this for a full minute. Just take it at a pace that you're comfortable with. But you can always stop, shake the legs out a little bit. We've just got a few more seconds left with this one. Well done. Okay, right, let me talk you through the next one. So again, this is where you can use your hand weights if you want to, but you don't need them if you don't have them. So you're gonna have your feet about shoulder width wide, holding the weights just down in front of you, or this way if you've got 2 hand weights. You're gonna hip hinge first. So you're gonna stick your bottom backwards, maintaining a slight bend in the knee, and you'll feel stretch on the back of the legs. At that point, we're gonna do a row. So we're gonna lift the weights in towards the stomach, keeping the elbows in, let the arms drop back down, and then stand back up. Ready? Off we go. So hip hinge, bring the weight into the stomach, lower, then stand back up. So we're doing a strength and condition exercise now. So again, the movement's going to be a lot slower compared to the last one. So you control the weight. Good. Make sure we're keeping that back nice and flat as you do that hip hinge. So really think about pushing your bottom backwards, hold the position as you lift another weight, then stand back up. Good, we're halfway through. Nice. Squeeze it in. So when you lift the weight up, keep the elbows relatively close to the ribs. Try and see if you can get the weights as close as you can to the waist or into the stomach if you're holding one weight like I am. Good. Last few seconds. Good. Okay, right, let's pop the weights down if you've got them. And I'll talk you through the next one. So the next one is going to be back to the step, but we're going to be stepping up laterally. If you're doing it, if I get Mum to do it so she's facing the wall, that way then you can hold onto the wall for support. But essentially, we're going to straddle the step up with one foot, and then use the same foot to then go back off again. So it's always going to stay in between you. If you're doing this on the floor, if you don't have a step, it's in, out, out. Ready? Off you go. So out, out, in, out, out, in. So that's the movement, exactly the same as you would do on the step. And again, when we get halfway, you can then switch legs that you're leading with if you're doing this on the step. Okay, Mum, you don't have to go quite as fast as that. Sorry. You can, but I'll look ridiculously slow. Right, that's halfway through, so if you want to change the lead leg, you can. So make sure you're working at a pace that you can manage. How you feeling, Mum?
Good.
Good. Up nice and tall when you're up on the top of the step, just like we did with the forward step ups. Good, okay, well done. So the next one we're gonna do is where you're gonna need your wall or your support, because we're gonna do a wall press with a heel raise. So standing a good distance away from the wall, you want your feet about shoulder width wide. Hands need to be on the wall or your support a little bit lower and a little bit wider than your shoulders. And then essentially from there, keeping your body in a straight line, we're gonna go in, push back out. When your arms are straight, we're gonna lift both heels up off the floor, lower back down, and then start again. So get yourself ready, off you go. So in, push yourself away, lift the heels up, lower back down. Letting the body go in, push away, lift the heels up, lower the heels down. So as you're doing the wall press, just make sure that your body's in a straight line. So if I was to draw a line from shoulder, through hip, through knee, through ankle, that's always going to be straight, irrelevant of what position I'm in the movement. Don't allow the elbows to flare out to the side, so keep the elbows in quite close to the body, and that will take a little bit of stress off the shoulders. Good. We've already gone past halfway because I heard the bleep. Keep that movement going nice and steady. So you feel that work in your calf muscles in the lower leg with the heel raise as well. But you should be feeling that in the arms and the chest and the shoulders with the wall press. Last couple of seconds. Good, okay. Right then, next one we're gonna do is a knee raise with a torso twist. So for this one, we're gonna have the hands just in front of you. As the knee raises up in front, you're gonna twist your upper body to the same direction. So if I do a right knee raise, I'm gonna twist my body to the right. And when I do a left knee raise to the front, I twist my body to the left. Again, this is more of a cardio one, so you can get a little bit of a pace going if you want to for a bit of tempo. So get yourself ready. 3, 2, 1, off we go. So knee raises alternating to the front as you rotate your body each way. Is that making your brain hurt?
Making my body hurt.
Body hurt, okay, yeah, fair enough. It's good that we can work the brain as well as the body. Good. So again, keep that pace going. Just find a pace that's right for you. We're halfway through this one. Keep it going if you can. Any point you need to take a rest, you can just stop and rest for a bit. That's absolutely fine. Good. Right, we're in the last 10 seconds of this one. Well done. Okay, right, the next one, again, this is where you can use your weights if you've got them. We're going to do a reverse lunge with a bicep curl. So you start with your feet about shoulder width wide. You're going to take a step back, but as you step back, make sure that the foot doesn't come across the center line of the body. So keep the same width of your stance. Step back, back foot on the ball of the foot. Try and think about bending this back knee a little bit as you then bring the fists up towards shoulders. So lift the weight up towards the shoulders and then come back up and step forwards. And then we'll do the same with the other leg. Off you go. So step back, drop down a bit and curl, stand back up, come forwards, opposite leg back. Now you bend the back knee as much as you're comfortable with. If you find that's quite difficult, then don't go down quite so low. So you can even just step back, do the bicep curl without bending the back knee at all if you want to. And again, if you've got 2 hand weights, obviously you can do it with 2 this way in the same sense. Good, slow and controlled. We're halfway through. So again, this is more of a conditioning one, so we don't have to worry too much about the pace of it. Good. Last 10 seconds on this one. So you should be feeling that a little bit in the legs, and you might feel a little bit in the upper arms. Good, okay, pop the weights down if you've had them. Okay, right, the next one we're gonna do is a hip and shoulder extension. So basically that means is we're gonna have the palms facing forwards, arms completely straight, feet about shoulder width wide, and the arm extension or shoulder extension is this bit, squeezing the shoulder blades back together. At the same time, keeping one leg straight, you're going to try and just squeeze it back behind you. So keeping the leg straight will isolate the glutes. And we're going to alternate legs. Ready? Off you go. So squeeze back and then to the front. So just lifting that leg up behind you, trying to keep it as straight as you can, and at the same time really squeeze the shoulder blades back together. So it's like you're really opening the front of the body up. So up nice and tall, squeeze the arms back, squeeze the shoulder blades back, squeeze that leg back. And again, this is more of a cardio one. So once you've got the technique right, you can up the pace a little bit. That's halfway through. Good. Get that squeeze into your glutes. You should feel your bottom. My bottom's on fire now already. Mum, is that hurting your bottom?
No,
No.
my shoulders are my bottom.
Oh, shoulders. Okay, last 10 seconds.
I'm probably not doing it right.
Just keep your legs straight. Try and keep your legs straight at the knee. And think about pushing the heel back. Good. Okay, we just got one more exercise to do in this first circuit. Again, hand weights are optional. So we're going to do a sumo squat for this one, and that's where we take the feet a lot wider than a standard squat. Turn the toes outward slightly. If you've got hold of the weight, just hold it down in front of you. And then you're going to bend the knees, pushing the bottom backwards. Make sure the knees are tracking in alignment with the toes. Go as low as you can, come back up, and then reach the weight up as high as you can. So it's a high reach. So it's sumo squat into high reach. Ready? Off we go. Up, raise up above the head. Now, depend on your shoulder mobility. Will depend on how high you can get the weight above your head. If you're like me and Mum a little bit, our shoulder mobility is not quite so good. So think about lifting it up in front of you, but as high as you can. So sumo squat, lift up. As you do the sumo squat, think about keeping the head and the chest up so you don't end up collapsing the spine, and that'll just support your lower back. Imagine like you're bending down, getting groceries out of the shopping bag and placing them up into a cupboard. So it's quite a functional exercise, this one. Again, because there's more conditioning, slow and steady, really feel those muscles working into the legs and into the shoulders. Good. Last 10 seconds on this one. This is the last one. Well done. Right, 30 seconds rest. At this point, I would grab yourself a drink if you want one, because after this, we're then going to go back through the circuit a second time round. But this time we're only going to get 15 seconds rest, because I don't need to explain what the next exercise is going to be. So you only get 15 seconds rest, which will make the circuit that much harder. So if you need to adjust your pacing for that, that's absolutely fine. So get yourself ready for the step up. We're going to do the forward step up. Ready? Off we go. So second circuit then, first exercise, forward step ups. Remember, if you're doing this without a step, doing it as a box step on the floor. Look at that, we could do synchronized stepping there. Again, just make sure you're doing it at a pace that feels right for you. Nice. So when we get to halfway, you can switch your lead leg if you want to. That's halfway, so I'm going to switch over, lead with the opposite foot. So if you did find that first circuit easy, then you know this one's going to be a little bit harder anyway, because you've got less rest between each exercise. But if you found the first one challenging, you might want to slow it down a little bit for this one, just so you can sustain it all the way through. But keep the oxygen going in. Well done. Okay, grab your hand weight if you want one. And we're going to do the front raise with the toe tap out to the side, alternating legs. So 5 seconds, get yourself ready. Starting with the feet together. And off you go. So raise the weight up, or you adjust your hands up to shoulder height in front as you do that toe tap. A little bit of a slower pace now, because we're trying to work into conditioning those muscles. So we want to keep control of the weight. Good. Excellent. Just try and keep that going if you can. If you need to take a break, take a break. You might feel this around your core muscles, particularly the lower back. As your weight's lifting out to the front, it's trying to pull your body forwards. So your lower back's having to work a little bit. But just make sure you keep the core nice and tight as you're raising the arms out to the front. Good, last 10 seconds. Why am I sweating loads and you don't look like you've done anything? Good. Okay, right, pop the weight back down if you've got it. Okay, next one is the side step and squat, where we're stepping out to side, squat down, bring the feet back together, then going the other way. So get yourself ready. And off we go. Side step, squat, back up, feet together, side step the other way, squat. So again, just work at that tempo that you're able to keep up for the full minute. Make sure you're pushing that bottom backwards as you're squatting down. Again, try and keep the head and the chest up to keep your spine neutral. Should be feeling this one a little bit into the quads, as well as getting you breathless. Halfway through this one. Good. How you feeling now, Mum? Now we're doing it a bit faster.
Yeah, okay.
OPEC manageable? Good. Keep that going, last 10 seconds. Well done. Okay, grab your weights if you want them. We're going to do the hip hinge with the bent over row. So it's this one where we're sticking your bottom backwards, bring the weight in towards the waist, drop the weight back down, and then stand back up again. Get yourself ready, and off you go. So hip hinge, row, lower, stand back up. Hip hinge, row, lower, stand back up. As you're doing that row, I say it to my mum because she's not doing it quite right. So make sure you think about leading with the elbows. Elbows go back past your waist, lower, that's it, and then stand back up. So we're getting that movement, we're trying to lift the elbows up and back behind you. That's the row movement rather than just bending the elbows, bringing the weight in. So it's trying to get the shoulder blades to squeeze back as you're lifting the weight up. Good. Remember when you're at the bottom part, keep your head and your chest up, just to help keep a nice flat back. Squeeze back. So really feel those muscles working on the top of the back when you've got the weight in to the stomach. You're trying to force those elbows right back up as high as you can behind you. Last few seconds. Good, okay, pop the weight down if you've had it. So we're going back to the step again. So either on the floor, doing the in, out on the floor. Get your arms moving a bit as well to keep your heart rate up. Otherwise doing it on the step. Ready? Off we go. So up, down, down. Again, just work at a pace that you can sustain for the full minute. I'll tell you when we're halfway through, so you can then switch your lead leg if you want to. Good. How puffed out are you feeling, Mum, on a scale of 0 to 10? 0 being nothing, 10 being like you're shattered. What number are you on?
8.
8? Okay, that's quite high. If you said 4, 5 or 6, I'd say that's about right.
It's my knee.
It's your knee.
It's my knee.
Knees. Aches and pains. Good, last few seconds. Well done. Okay, so the next one is the wall press with the heel raise. So find your wall or your support. Remember, hands a bit wider and a bit lower than shoulder height. Feet about shoulder width as well. Angle the body into the wall. Ready, off you go. So in towards the wall, push yourself out, heel raise when you've got your arms straight. In, push out, heel raise. Remember to keep these elbows relatively low as they're bending. So as your body's going towards the wall, don't have the elbows out to the side too high. And that'll take some stress off the shoulders. And again, another important point is make sure that body's in that straight line as you go in and out. So don't allow the hips to sag forwards, but at the same time, don't keep your bottom back behind you. Your hips should be coming in with the rest of your body. This one should be right on your knees. I think Mum likes this one. Last couple of seconds. Well done. Okay, right, next one is the knee raise with this rotation of the spine. So get yourself ready in your space. Hands just in front of the chest. Get ready. And off you go. So remember, you're twisting in the same direction as the leg that's being raised. So if you're raising your right knee, twist to the right, raising the left knee, twist to the left. And again, work at a tempo that you can manage for the full minute. Good. So as you're doing that rotation, think about trying to push that elbow back round behind you as far as you can, but making sure the knee's still coming directly to the front, so you're not bringing the knee out to the side. Keep that going. We've got 10 seconds left on this one. Well done, good. Right, next one, we're gonna go into that reverse lunge with the bicep curl. So again, use your weights if you want one. I might show you with 2 weights this time. So make sure you keep your feet shoulder width wide as you step back. Ready? Off you go. So step back, lunge and curl with the weights, and then step forward. So opposite leg back, making sure you're keeping that back foot up onto the ball of the foot. Good. So if you're using 2 weights like I am, make sure you keep the elbows in tight to the waist as you're bringing the weight or your fists up towards the shoulders. Try and keep the body upright. And remember, only bend the back knee as far as you're comfortable. If it means you just step back and then do the curl, that's absolutely fine. If that hurts your knees, what's that like on your knees?
Yeah, the right one hurts. It's the right one that hurts.
Okay.
That's every one there.
So this is a conditional one, so it doesn't have to be done quickly. You control the movement, control the weight. Excellent, well done. Right, if you've had the weights, pop them back down. Just 2 to go. So we're back into this shoulder extension as we take the arms back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Hip extension, remember keep the leg straight at the knee. Ready, off you go. So really focus on trying to squeeze the shoulder blades back, keep the leg straight at the knee. Think about it, just trying to force the heel back behind you as far as you can. So we'll open up the front of the hip, but you should feel this muscle work here, around the side of the hip, around your bottom. So keep that body upright. It's like you're opening the front of the body up as you squeeze back. If you want to do it at a faster pace, you can go at a faster pace on this one. We're halfway through. Good. Keep it going. Just got 1 exercise left after this one. That's it, and then we're done. That'll be all the hard stuff out of the way. Good. Okay, last exercise then is the sumo squat with the high reach. Use a weight if you want one. Take your feet out nice and wide. So turn the toes outwards a little bit. If you've got hold of the weight, just hold it in front. Off we go. So bend the knees, push the hips back, go down as low as you can, come back up, reach up as high as you can. So reach down low, reach down high. Get your groceries out of the bag, place them up into a high cupboard. Good. Again, remember this is a strength and condition exercise, so because we're using the weight, control the movement of the weight. so it's not done at a fast tempo. As you're bending the knees, just make sure that the knees stay out wide. Be careful that the knees don't do this, because that's going to put stress on your knee joint. So make sure as you bend them, try and force the knees out as wide as you can. Good. Last 10 seconds. This is the last one. Then we're going to go into a cool down. Awesome, well done. Right, grab yourself a drink if you want one. We're going to go into a cool down in 10 seconds, but do grab a drink, and you can have a drink while you're doing the cool down if you want to. Okay, so let's just start off in this cool down then. A nice gentle walk on the spot. How are you feeling now? We've done. I'm sweating absolute buckets, and you just look like you haven't done anything. Something wrong there.
Perhaps I'm fitter than
Yeah,
you.
that you must be fitter than me. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you're probably right. Right, so remember we're doing this as a cool down now, so we need to slow the tempo down. We're trying to do this in a nice, slow, relaxed manner. It's quite easy to get carried away because your metabolism's up and your tempo's been up from the exercise, so you just need to try and discipline it a little bit to slow it down. Okay, from there we're going to do a side step touch, so we're just going to take a step to one side and back again, and just tap one foot to the other. Good, and then let's just go back to a gentle walk again. So hopefully while we're going through this cool down, next couple of minutes, you should be feeling that your breathing rate is starting to come back down to normal again. And that's the idea behind the cool down. And it just stabilizes your blood pressure again as well. Just getting everything back into balance. Okay, let's bring the feet down to standstill. Have your feet about shoulder width wide, and then with the hands on the hips, you're just going to move the hips left and right. So as you do that, try and keep your head relatively still in between your feet. If you draw a center line down the middle, just let the hips go from left to right. Good, and then we're going to make circles with the hips. So you're going to push the hips to the front, round to one side, round to the back, round to the opposite side, back to the front. Good, and then let's change the direction of that rotation. So just moving the hips around the opposite way. Good, and then bring the hips back to the middle. Right, we're gonna twist the pelvis this time. So as we turn, just relax your arms down, let them swing around you. And as you rotate, allow the back foot to come up onto the toes. So this should feel really nice and relaxed as you rotate left and right. Just try and relax your arms, let them swing around you. Good, okay, and then bring it back to the middle. Right, we're gonna finish off with a few stretches. So we're gonna start with the back stretch. If you place one hand on top of the other, roll the shoulders forwards and then push your arms out in front of you as far as you can. And you'll feel a very mild stretch around the sides and the top of the back. So we're gonna hold that position, but focus on relaxing your breathing. So slow, deep breaths while we hold the position of the stretch. Good, and release. Let's do a chest stretch next. So you're gonna place the hands behind you into the lower part of your back, and then think about squeezing the shoulder blades together, pulling the elbows back behind you, so you can feel a stretch on the chest and the front of the shoulders. Good, and release. Let's do a stretch for the back of the arm. So I want you to bend one elbow, so bringing the hand up to the shoulder, and then lift that elbow up and back. You can use your other hand to push and aid that elbow to go further back if you want to. So you should feel stretch here on the back of your arm. Good, and then switch over, same the other side. Good, right, let's go on to a front thigh stretch. So for this one, you might want to do this near support because you are going to go up onto one foot. You can either grab hold of one foot and try and get the heel up to as close to your bottom as you can. Bring that knee in close to the other one and pull it backwards. If you struggle with your knee mobility, then just put the foot behind you, either on a step like I'm doing, it can even be on the floor. But just then think about pushing your hip forward, stand up tall, and you'll still generate a little bit of a stretch down here on the front of the hip, down the front of the thigh a little bit. Oh, you don't need the wall for balance then. It's good balance. Okay, swap over.
Around the other way.
Good, okay, and then the last stretch we're going to do is one for the back of the leg. This is where we just take one foot in front of the other just a little bit. Keep the front leg straight at the knee, place the hands on the back leg that's bent, and then think about pushing your hips back, like when we did the hip hinge earlier on in the circuit, and that should generate a bit of a stretch here on the back of the leg. And then switch the feet over, same on the other side. Good, and that completes your workout. You enjoy that, Mum?
Yeah.
Okay, that gets a seal of approval. I hope you enjoyed it too. Well done.
I hope you enjoyed this workout with me and my mum. If so, please give it a like by clicking the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing if you haven't already. You can check out the description below for further information and ways that you can help support this channel. But thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay active and keep moving to feel better. Eee.